Hey, everybody, welcome back to another amazing show. This is the Real Estate Marketing Roundtable. We have an incredible co-host with us today. We have Mr. Jake Wolf, Mr. Nick Sakis, and Mr. Gene Volpe, otherwise known as the Evil Bald Ninja. Guys, we're going to be talking about all kinds of crazy stuff you can do for marketing in your business and kind of stuff that we're talking about back in the backstage area. But before then, here's your intro. Shut up, Gene. What's up, gentlemen? Welcome to the show. This is going to be a great show. I cannot wait to make fun of Gene as much as humanly possible because he is balder than he ever should be bald. I mean, this guy took me to the wood chipper, and that probably means he hasn't shaved in like 10 days. But Jake Wolf, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, actually. I just got back to the office from the airport. I had some real estate agents come in from out of town for a 2-day hardcore Sergeant Wolf business meeting and retreat. So we had a lot of awesome things that we got done, and we are taking names. So good form.
Nice, man. Volpe, the evil bald ninja. How bald are you today?
You were right. It's closer to the 10 days without shaving than it is taking it to the wood. I mean, you can probably see the gray. If you watch it on YouTube, you can probably see the gray.
I actually can.
I do pretty good with lighting. It's not really long. It's just, because I don't have that much hair, especially in the middle. There's no hair in the middle, so you can't tell there one way or the other.
And that's why you're so handsome.
It's a good point.
Mr. Nick Sakis, how are you, brother?
I am very cranky today. Full blown, third day, no sugar, calorie deficit, cranky. First week back in the saddle from a fourth quarter, I would say, debauchery from my diet that I was so good on last year, and getting back in the saddle. The cycle
for you,
of
man.
life. Yeah.
How long is it going to take you?
Well, I got to get to my ultimate goal, which was 275, which that might make people, they might be their max they've ever been in their entire life. But for me, I was over 500 pounds. So that's another 100 pounds. So I lost 175 initially, gained 70-ish back over the course of the past 6 months, just being lackadaisical, not having a goal, right? Moving towards goals is important. So when you don't have that goal in place, it's really hard to navigate. It's like putting if you wanted to go to a specific location, your GPS, and you just put the city name, it's not going to take you to the right location, right? You have to have the exact address of where you're going when you put in the GPS. Same thing with business, with life, with anything you want. You have to have a specific goal. So
let's talk about that a little bit. Let's break that down, because we want to talk about get into the topic of the show of giving sellers what they want. So you're talking about, delivering what you say you're going to deliver. Nick, you've been in the game for a long period of time. I want to go to you first, then go to Jake, and then go to Gene. Let's talk about delivering what they want. So what have sellers been telling you that they want?
Well, so here's the thing, right? We talk about this a lot in the roundtable, and the premise behind this show, or the concept we were talking backstage, was about giving people what they want so that you can actually deliver what they need. And what I mean by that, and what this show is about, is this is like marketing 101, right? So when I talk to agents, when they come in and they need help with marketing, one of the first things I help people craft is a unique selling proposition, finding their authority, finding their authentic self, and putting that out into the market. Now, there's tried and true USPs that have been around since I've been in business in 2005. And I'll get pushback from agents like, I don't want to do that hacky, guaranteed stuff, or, I don't want to do a free move or anything like that. It just seems really hacky. Well, the fact of the matter is, people are still using it because it still works. And the reason it still works is because you're meeting a seller where they are currently at. right?
Mhm.
It is extremely difficult for somebody to know all of the nuances that happen in a real estate transaction because they don't sell houses every single day like you do, right? They sell a house every 7 years. So 7 years ago, they've probably forgotten what the transaction was like. It's gotten more legalities in it than there's ever been now. And they aren't searching out for a real estate agent based on the fact that, oh, this person's professional, they've closed 5,000 deals and they know what they're doing. They're searching for a deal. They are, especially in this market. A seller's first motive is always, I want to make as much money as possible. I want to keep as much equity as possible. So anytime you can give them what they want or what they're looking for as far as marketing, that's how you get in front of them. That's how you capture their attention. That's how you get them as a lead. That's how you get them to reach out to you. Then when you're at the table, right, then you explain the nuances. Then you explain what sets you apart and why they should choose you as a professional as a one-on-one conversation. So you're giving them what they think they want initially through marketing so that you can deliver what they actually need, which is your professional representation and not an iBuyer program with a clerk on the other side, somebody who's first time in the market, that's never done a real estate transaction. You're the professional in the market. It's that marketing 101.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jake. Where would you go with that?
Unique selling propositions are so important in any business, in any industry, right? It's about what kind of personal conveniences and financial conveniences you can actually go ahead and bring to your prospective customer, and this is what makes you different or differentiates you from your competitors. So find those things. And if you guys are hesitant out there, like Nick says, to go ahead and offer some of these things, you shouldn't be. And if you are, your competitor is going to be doing it. And what it really comes down to is educating your prospects, right? So many people live inside these homes. We don't know if they're going to be selling their home in the next 8 months, 8 years. Maybe they should be selling right now. Maybe they should be thinking about selling. Interest rates are going up. Inventory is still low. It's still a seller's market. We came off a crazy 19-20% increase in appreciation in value. They could be doing something with their property right now. So, but it's your job to identify what kind of tools that you can go ahead and put inside of your toolkit, but then get out there and start educating. So education is very, very important, and explaining to them things such as, when you do decide to go ahead and sell, come talk to me first. Let's see if we can save you $10,000 to $25,000 on moving expenses. And so if you don't come talk to me, you're going to have to pay that. And you can use it as a down payment for maybe your next home, pay off your kids' college fund. Maybe you do need to go ahead and find a way to take these people who are in a financing type position and turn their offer into a cash offer so it's more attractive, so that they can go ahead and compete against other people bidding on homes that they're purchasing. But these are all things that you guys need to be thinking about right now. Craft this into educational resources, maybe profile different people. Maybe they're a 30-year-old family with some children, or maybe they're moving up in life or moving down in life. And so take those profiled scenarios and educate your prospective consumer on what resources you have available, so that they can go ahead and reach out and consult with you. And you ultimately are going to save them what's extremely important to most consumers in life, and that's money and their time. So that's where I'm at on it.
I love it. Gino, give me your thoughts on this one, my friend. And Gene is muted. Still muted.
I said, I got nothing. No, look, these guys said it well. I think we talk about this all the time. I remember when I did, you guys probably know Perry Belcher, right? You've heard that name before.
Why do I know that
Mr.
name?
Belcher. Yeah.
Yeah, the marketer, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've told the story before, probably on the show, but God, it's been probably 10 or 12, maybe 12 years now, where I somehow landed on his email list. And I was just starting the social media side of my marketing business. And I was,
Gene, real quick, I hate to interrupt you.
No.
Once you did get onto that email list, how many times did you hear from Mr. Belcher throughout the year?
Oh, geez, probably once every 4 hours. Right?
Consistent, constant action, constant awareness, education, so that you knew his brand and everything else, right?
Well, yeah, and it was weird because I don't know how I got on it. And the first, how probably most people are like, I was annoyed. And then he's pitching this webinar about Give me 45 minutes and I'll teach you all the ways to market your business with Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I had been in the field for a couple of years, and that's what I've been doing. And I'm saying to myself, what is this guy going to teach me in 45 minutes about these things whatever. So it was like 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night. I jump on this friggin' webinar, and within 2.5 minutes, I have a pen and paper out. If you guys know me, I do not take notes for the most part. Like I'm not a note taker. If we're out at an event or some kind of, like seminar or something, I'm not that guy writing notes in a book. I put it all in my head, right? But this content was so good that I was scribbling down notes. I'm like, this dude is friggin' lighting me on fire. He's giving me all this great stuff. I'm going to take it and implement it. I'm going to put it into my service plans. I'm going to, but whatever. And about 42 minutes into the presentation, he says, all right, I'm going to take a 1-minute break. There's a lot of people on this call. I know a lot of people have to get their kids and go to sleep, and it's late on the East Coast. And just give me 1 minute. I'm going to come back, and I am going to tell you what it is that I do for a living and what services and products you could buy from me. And what do you think my reaction to that was? Do you think there? I hung up? I stayed there, right? And I was like, this dude just gave me so much fire. I'm totally interested in what he does, right? And he gets back on the call and he goes, okay, now I did that for effect. You might have asked why I took a 1-minute break. He goes, it's Tuesday on the East Coast. It's 10 of 10. And and I'm making these numbers up, but there were some crazy numbers. He had 26,383 people on the webinar. And there were still 23,800, like 3,000 people had dropped off the webinar out of 26,000. And he goes, I did that for a reason. He goes, some people have to put their kids to bed. Some people are over it. Some people don't give a shit what I sell. He goes, but all you guys that stayed around thought I gave enough great free information that you were willing to listen to my USP. And I was like, there's the answer to sales. Like, if you're constantly giving free information out and you're good, right? And you're doing it with the expectation of nothing in return, eventually you're going to get that in return. It's just the way it works. People are going to glom onto your info. They're gonna love being educated by you. You think they won't, but there'll be people hiding in the wings that don't say shit to you until it's time, that are watching your stuff and that love it. I'll go back to Nick. Nick will tell you, guaranteed, there's 1,000 people that he doesn't even know was watching his weight loss videos and lost weight or got in better shape or did things in their own lives because of his example, because of what he was putting out every day. Mm-hmm. So you lead with education and you lead with information first, lead with goodwill, and then people will call you for what it is that they want to pay you for.
There's two other things that are coming into play here that are very important to think about. So Nick started this roundtable today talking about attraction marketing. And I highly urge everybody to go ahead and do a little bit of research. It's one of the pillars of marketing. It's been around for a long time. And let's think about it for a second. If you guys are going to Costco today to go ahead and pick up some additional toilet paper, inside joke from 2021, figured I'd bring that in. You might come across a employee inside of the store that has some, let's see here, guacamole and chips that they want to go ahead and put in front of you. Here, try some of this, right? They are putting that product in front of you and attracting you towards it so you can go ahead and make a purchase. A lot of times in a lot of different industries, they say with a strong attraction marketing type technique, you can 3x your leads and your sales if you do this properly. So, but what it comes down to is those prospective consumers don't know that they want that at the time. You're educating them and attracting them to your product by giving them something, a taste, educating them on the services that you provide and the ways that they can go ahead and save money. Insurance sides of the house do this very well. They're talking about differences between term life, whole life, IULs, and then tax savings, things along those lines to benefit you and how to go ahead and properly use your money. It's extremely important. There's all of these different attraction type things, but it always comes down to educating your consumer. So the other side of this too that I want to go ahead and bring in here is niche. Okay, so niching into an area that you are passionate about. Greg talks about going to the dog park all the time. Very common area because he's a dog owner, is hanging out with other people that have that same type of lifestyle, and they have something in common, and they can go ahead and talk. And there's that niche attraction as well that you guys can go ahead and get in there. So once you're in there with people of commonality through niche and attraction in that regard, now you're educating them on things that you can do for them on a professional level. So, but it's always going to come down to education. Emails, extremely critical, and do it and stay doing it.
Yeah, it's 100%. I had a wonderful conversation with a good friend of mine, Judy, at the dog park today. She and her partner are looking to buy a property here in San Francisco for about $2 million. And she and I were just talking dogs and, throwing slobber covered balls and, dodging dog poop and, having a good time together. And she turns to me and she's like, you know what, Greg, I got a question for you for real estate. I'm like, yeah, sure. What's up? So she asked the question, we had a conversation, and she looked at me kind of like, would you be my real estate agent? And I'm like, absolutely. I'd be pleased to do it. And she sent me 2 different properties. And like Jake, what you were saying is it was a niche because we've been throwing a slobber covered dog ball because her dog always comes to me. My dog always goes to her. It's kind of hilarious. She's like, hey, I trust you. Would you want to represent me? And I think a lot of us, when it comes to giving sellers what they want, we don't understand what they want because we don't understand them. Once we understand them, then we can deliver on a higher level in regards to if you're a dog, cat, goldfish, if you're a gardener, cook, sailor, swimmer, runner, whatever it's going to be, you connect on those levels and all of a sudden your leads will start coming to you. But let's jump back into really the conversation and topic that we're going over today. And yes, May, they do sell, they do give samples out at Costco. I was just there 2 days ago and they are giving samples. But
some of the ones are, like she said, some of the ones are preventing that because of COVID and stuff. But
she's bummed out about it for sure.
Dude, I'm bummed out about it. I was bummed out about it. But you can
also,
still get the hot dog.
Can we take a second and give Tony some props for the excellent profile picture he has? This is like Hollywood quality.
Bravo, and his banner. Get out there and check his banner out too. I was giving him some juice on last week after he was posting. I'm like, look at this dude. What's he doing?
Nice. Very nice.
I sent Tony a private friend request because of that picture. It was amazing.
Okay, so that goes right back down to niches, right? So we all appreciate a good-looking photo. We all made a comment about it, and Tony threw it up there probably to build his business, but we all noticed it. That's not a word. But the thing is that when it comes down, shut up, Gene. I swear to God, I'm gonna cancel you from the show.
You're not gonna do shit. You ain't doing nothing. Come on, just keep going.
I'm sorry. Gene's feed left. I'm so sorry about that.
I'm getting ready to move 4 squares now.
and it's video roulette. I'm in a different spot than I was.
Yeah,
you are, but you're in the coveted bottom left square.
Power bottom.
So
just where you like it.
Oh my God, you went there. Okay, and we're moving forward on that one. Let's talk about giving sellers what they really want. What would be something, Gene, since I kicked you out and brought you back on, what would be something that you would advise real estate agents on in regards to giving sellers what they want? What does that look like from your seat in the stands in the real estate market? It can be mortgages as well. So
either way, I think you gotta listen first, right? You gotta listen to listen. Let's say that. So I have to create the proper pattern interrupt to get their attention. And when I get their attention and they call me for a service that I'm offering, I then need to get in the space, not to sell them on anything because I've already sold them, right? That's why they're calling me. They're watching me from afar or on the internet. And so they've called me. And so now I just have to tune into what it is that they expect and what they think their needs are, right? So I always say to people, like, when I'm doing the marketing thing, I can tell you all day where I think you need to be, but ultimately it's your business, right? So like if you say to me, I don't want to be on Facebook, I hate it, and I think it's the devil. My job is to tell you what the right things are to do and what the numbers are so that you can make an informed decision. Now, if after I tell you you're crazy for not being on Facebook, you still want to do it, it's your business. So like, I'll give you an example, actually. It's kind of funny. I had a client a couple of years back during the elections, right? Like in 2016. And when I tell you that this agent was anti-Trump, that's a really nice way of saying that when the T in his name showed up anywhere, like all it had to be was the letter T. she would go on these tirades about what this and that and this, and I hate it. And I could care less. And I called her and I said, listen, it's my job to help you with this, right? Like our general rule is no politics and no religion. I said, your business, you do what you want. Cause there's that other line too, where she's trapping flies with shit and she knows that. And that's okay too. Right. And I said to her, you're losing 60% of your base when you go that route. And she said, I don't give a F. If you support Trump, I don't.
What is an F? What is an F?
I don't give a flying freak. If you vote for Trump, I don't want to take your money. And I was like, oh. And she goes, you don't agree with me? I'm like, that's neither here nor there. That's none of your business. But I'm just telling you that it's your business. That's your name attached to that. You're making statements that are turning off 60 to 70% of your audience just by default. If you're not going to listen to me, I can't help you. Right. And that was really it. But so the listening piece of it is the most important part. Go out and find out what the seller or the buyer or whatever it ends up being, the person you're in front of, what is it that they think, reset their expectations based off of factual information, and then listen again, right? Did they hear you? Are they changing what they think their message needs to be or what they want? Did they change that? Go with it. If they didn't, then you have to make sure you leave with that disclaimer. I put this information in front of you. You understand you're not taking my advice. That's cool because it's your house. But these are the three things that could possibly happen. And sometimes if you predict things and they come true, you look like a little bit of a genius. Like, I'll tell you, like what? Like when I did last week, I predicted, I said, figure out a way to take the Cowboys over the Eagles by 21 points. If you listened to that, you would have won a shit ton of money. And I'll tell you again this week, take the Birds -9 against the Buccaneers. You might even want to take the money line on that one.
Ooh.
So hopefully you're listening.
Hopefully.
And you could, and listen, for your sake, on the my boys down in Tampa, you better hope that doesn't happen because I'm going to be playing this clip and the clip last week.
I can only wait. I can only hope and wait.
Okay.
You're going to be praying.
My nipples are percolating already.
Okay,
we got to get a little in there. Listen, Greg, this is a big time of year where we can talk junk and make big bets.
Okay,
you have to include
this is true. We're going into the postseason.
Yes, we are.
All right, gentlemen, back on track. Talking about what the needs are for the sellers. Well, how would you, Nick? How would you define in your years in business what the seller's needs are? What questions would you ask to get that information?
Well, let me back that up because the premise of this whole thing, as far as attraction marketing, was to really talk about the content side of things. So if I was to split up into two cases, need versus want, the overwhelming majority, I would say, of real estate agents, at least who I've talked to from my personal experience, when they think they need to create content, they are trying to create content that is need-based. Meaning, how many times have you heard a real estate agent, or you personally, you're a real estate agent listening, or mortgage broker, feel the overwhelming urge to create a market update video, right? Those are stats. Those are boring. Unless somebody is literally down the pipeline, like 1% of your market is thinking about, why is this relevant to me, right? How much are closing costs going to affect my purchasing power? All the details of a real estate transaction, and the majority of realtors' YouTube channels are all these very detail-oriented types of videos, all having to do within the transaction. So you sound like an expert. Like that was version 1 of real estate marketing. Just regurgitate as much as you can so that when people watch it, they're going to know that you're the expert and you know what you're doing. The problem is nobody's watching that content because you're not meeting the customer where they're at. The content that's exploding right now, all the YouTube channels, everybody that I advise, all my customers, and just in the market, if you survey overall, content based around what people are searching for and what they're looking for. So if I'm a seller and I'm not going to care if you just posted a video about, closing costs or anything that's very unique to a specific transaction. But if you're an expert in this golf course community that I'm thinking about moving to, and you have, 10 listings that are coming up on the market, or the best street on this street for conservation view with a golf course, and it's the content that people are looking for, like I'm a seller, I'm looking for that house. Then once you have them in your web, right, they click on your video. Now they want to know more information. Then when you meet them in person, you demonstrate your expertise in that need to know type of content, which is very transactional. It's very boring, but it's very necessary. So we're trying to push our need to know information. Nobody is searching for stuff that having to do with a real estate license, right? We're creating content, a majority of real estate agents really for other real estate agents. And you get feedback, you get these feedback loops like, Nick, that was such a great video. I wish I could make a video about the top 5 reasons why this, that, or the other having to do with a real estate transaction. But the problem is only agents are watching that. Sellers aren't watching that stuff. Sellers are watching what's going on in the market. How is this neighborhood better than the other neighborhood? Where are the new construction builders happening in this specific area? What should I look out for? Greg with the dog parks, top 5 restaurants in this area, why people move here, the school district stuff, like literally want to know information, not need to know. And if you're forcing need to know stuff, demonstrating your expertise, you're just pointing out that like, you know more than them and they should be listening to you because you're on top of a mountain. Instead of sharing relevant content where they are at, you're meeting them where they're at, stuff that they want to learn, and then you demonstrate after the fact your expertise.
Well, yeah, that's actually a really good point, Nick. I was coached by another company a year and a half ago, and they created 25 different topics for me. I created the videos, went out and did the research, and it was all about different neighborhoods and everything else. I have tens of thousands of views on these different videos, and of course, I had my late cat Bandito. He was kind of my spokesperson and kind of my buddy on the show. But I have hundreds and hundreds of reviews because I was giving the consumer what they were looking for, not what I thought the consumer needed. It's information, like you said, Nick. It's 100% giving content to those who are looking for that content, allowing them to consume it. But like I always say in videos and in marketing, be as long as you have to be, but as short as you can be, just so that the consumer can get in, get the content, get the information, get out, and get on with their lives. But
think about from a conversation. No, sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
I'll say, think about it from a conversation. If somebody calls you, if a past customer calls you on the phone, are they going to ask you, hey, man, it's been 10 years since you sold us our house. We're happy. I can't remember what was on page 8 of the contract when it comes to financing.
That'd be on page 1.
They don't care about that. What's the financing clause and why is that important to you? Don't make a video about that. Nobody cares about that. They're going to call you and say, Nick, what's going on in my neighborhood right now? My neighbor just sold for this. We kind of want to move to this neighborhood. Do you know anything happening in this neighborhood? What should we be looking out for as far as upcoming, restaurants or school districts? What's the school district? I want to move to a new construction, but I've heard the new schools aren't very good. Stuff like that. Those are the conversations you have all the time. Not addendums.
Well, I mean, the three of you guys all have kiddos. I mean, what's the most important content that you would want to get as a seller if you're going to sell so that buyers would be attracted to you? Would it be schools, restaurants, or entertainment or just recreation? I mean, Gene, what first thing that pops to your mind? Each of you guys say one thing. What's the most important thing? Go. Dead air.
See, I was delayed. Because as a father, I want to say schools, but my kids are already nestled in the good schools and I can do whatever I want. So I'll be selfish and say restaurants.
Okay, restaurant. Jake, what would be yours? Number 1.
Proximity to the beach.
There you go.
Oh, that's a good one. Nick, what's yours?
Yeah. So primary forces, right? School, lifestyle, and what used to be location of work. That's kind of changed now, right?
It's a good point. Yep.
That used to be a big driver of, hey, I only want to drive 20 minutes to work, so I got to be here. Most people are working remote. So there's that play right now for homeowners that are willing to move out of their good school district that they're in now because they're not commuting to a job and both their parents work from home and they need 2 offices and they're willing to change school districts for their kiddos to get a bigger house, maybe new construction outside of the market than they would normally think about, right? Cashing out on their highly desirable home to go to an offshoot or offskirt for more square footage. We're seeing that a lot.
So I want to bring something into play here. back to the unique selling proposition side of the house. Okay. It's so important to have it. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Everybody do this with
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Of course.
Because that's what makes you unique compared to your competition, and it helps with personal and financial savings. Now, from a content standpoint, I changed the way that I look at all of this stuff, right? Content should be a vessel that carries out whatever the content message is, but every single piece of content should also carry your unique selling proposition, what it is, maybe the slogan of your company that resonates back with your unique selling proposition, so that you can get yourself into a position of talking about these things, educating about these things, or during fire season, having 4-paragraph written safety tips on home fire safety type stuff, right? Or new events, new construction, new things that are going on, the 4th of July rodeo, Christmas events, all the rest of these things, but staying consistent and kind of getting content out. Content should be the vessel that carries your unique selling proposition. So now you can change the way that you internalize content. And if you're thinking about it as just that vessel that takes out your unique selling proposition, now you can be less personally focused on drilling in the points. You just want eyeballs on content, eyeballs on topic. And so that they can go ahead and see where you're unique when the time is right to go ahead and actually need your services and what value you bring that's different. So all content is good stuff. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of a tip. Not a lot of people talk about it. So, and I hope it just resonates all across the United States of America and into the mouths of other people who are coaching. DIY type videos are super cool. How many times have you gotten yourself wrapped up into watching a DIY type project or something on Facebook Watch or on Instagram where, ooh, look at that. That's interesting. Or, man, I didn't know I can do that kind of a project, or I can turn that into this inside of my house. So from a real estate standpoint, there are a tremendous amount of resources out there online to where you guys can go ahead and take that content and reproduce and make it into your own fashion and share those types of DIY type tricks that might better the lifestyle of the people that live inside of a home. So it's a good content piece. Just wanted to throw that in there. But this is how I see content.
You can also piggyback on that. If you guys don't want to be in front of a camera, you want to give sellers what they really want, go find the DIY videos that pertain to home ownership or home maintenance or something like that. Employ one of these 3 gentlemen here, Nick, Jake, or Gene, and start launching YouTube ads in front of those videos that have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views, talking about, hey, if you're going to watch how to fix your sink, and on this great video, feel free and reach out to me if you're thinking about selling. If you have any question about real estate, until then, enjoy the video. Something along those lines. So you don't have to be creating content, which you should be creating, Jake. I'm 100% behind you on that one. You should be creating content on a consistent basis. That's a hard, fast yes on that one. But if you just want to dip your toes in, start doing some YouTube ads in front of these different videos, in front of your competitors' videos, in front of your brokers' videos, in front of the other brokers' videos, and say, hey, if you're going to watch a video from ABC Real Estate, here's some interesting information that we provide as a broker at XYZ Real Estate. Here's what we do. And so you can really create a visibility move and play on that thing, because then you can take those interactions and comments and everything else and post them as, on social media as something as a badge of honor. Like, hey, I watched Gene Volpe's video in regards to how to fix a sink. He was a fantastic help on this one. Helped my wife get through this when I was at work, and we used him as a real estate agent. He and his team were super professional. I highly recommend them. Blah blah blah. It's just leverage points. Am I understanding that correctly, gentlemen? Is that kind of where we're coming from, or have I lost my marbles and I'm off the rails? Anybody, say something, because I'm
going to go ahead. I'm going to go with you're off the rails, and
I knew it. That's why I didn't say anything, because Gene was going to say such polite words.
I mean, that's easy. You're just serving that up to me on a platter.
He served that one right up to you, Gene. That's
Do you think I'm crazy? No, Greg. Today I'm in a good mood. No.
Yeah.
Nick is just sitting back there going like, God, why do I hang out with these idiots?
Just going 3 days no sugar.
Yeah, I'm fading.
What am I? I'm not as funny when you're all not sugared up.
Definitely not.
I'll send you some sugar bars.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's do this. Since Nick is fading, I don't want him to just fall over dead on off air. Let's do a quick takeaway in regards to each one of you guys. Only three, but give me three takeaways that a seller or an agent can use to attract sellers and or buyers in today's market. So, Nick, since you're fading, I want to get you out of the way quickly as possible because I know that your sugar is low. So, give me your top three for attraction for sellers and buyers.
Give the people what they want, right? We talked about this pre-show, and so we can do another frame for this, right? You as the real estate agent are very similar to a parent with a child, right? So you know what's best for your seller, typically because you've done dozens of transactions, you've seen most of the things that can go wrong, and you can handle the situation way better than they can, or some big technology company iBuyer with 20 different clerks trying to juggle the same transaction. So if you know in your heart of hearts that you were really good at your craft and you are the parent that knows best, essentially what happens is giving people what they want versus what they need. So you're trying to give a sick child medicine that is very finicky with food, right? So in this case, your message to the market is forcing down the throat. So if my kid was sick, or Greg, we talked about this with a dog, right? The medicine that you would give them, they would spit out, right? That is something that you know as the parent that they need. You know as the agent, they need you to help them through the transaction. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, but that's all you're talking about is the need, and you're trying to force that need, just like giving the dog a pill that they're just going to spit out. What you have to give them is what they want. So instead of giving them the pill, you would wrap that pill in a piece of cheese and you'd throw it to the dog and the dog would eat it, or peanut butter or whatever. Or for my kid, I'd, crumble it up and put it in some cereal or oatmeal or whatever. And you give them what they want that's wrapped in what they need. And what I mean by that is the marketing up front has to be attractive enough for them to even see you, to be even become aware that you exist, because there's 15,000 other agents in your marketplace all saying the same thing. So if you don't have that great offer, if you don't have that great thing that they want, the phone's never going to ring. They're never going to talk to you. For you to get in front of them at a table one-on-one or Zoom or at a coffee shop or whatever, to actually tell them what they need, which is your professional advice, your contract negotiation ability. And that's basically it, right? So meet them with what they want so that you can give them what they need.
Fantastic. Great advice. Gene, what's your take on this? Your three.
I don't know if I have three. I mean, going back to it, you got to listen, right? And I think that you're going to need to. I think the best salesmen are the ones that are the most fluid and dynamic, right? Like you're going to walk in, and even in my world, when I bring people in, I'm always leading with, "What can I do to help you first? Like, are you in a position to sell this house? What does it look like on the inside? Do I know that wallpaper is going to keep your values down and your asking price down?" Like I'm making stuff up, right? But I want to offer value to the home seller before I even get into any kind of agreement or contract. And also, again, set the expectation. So I don't know that there's a good answer, just because it's going to vary depending on the people that you're in space with. Like, if I was at Nick's house, Nick's going to want different things out of the sale, and different. He's going to have different expectations than Jake would. So you got to kind of be dynamic enough to figure out what it is through listening that it is that they expect and that they want. And I mean, I'm just kind of a broken record at this point. You got listen, lead with good information and free stuff. I find that the more people I help, the more money I make, if that makes sense. And I feel like it's sometimes a direct correlation of just leading with, I'm not here to cash a check from you. I want to see how it is that we can help. And my sales proposition has always been, when I come out and talk to people, I want to digitally architect what they're going to need to increase their exposure and their business through marketing, right? And if I tell them 12 things that I think they need to do, and they're going to pay somebody to do those 12 things, maybe I can provide 6 of them. And with the goodwill that I put in the world, maybe they'll bring me on as that consultant. And then that's how I get paid back. So I don't know. That probably didn't make any kind of sense, but you get the idea.
No, it didn't make any sense at all. But you know what? You're par for the course. So we
Nicely
still
done,
love you.
friends. It's only fair that you get back at me. That's fair. That's fair enough.
All right, Jake, what's your 3 takeaways?
I want every single person that's possibly buying or selling real estate to go ahead and make sure they check with me first before talking to another real estate agent, so that I can help them understand how much they can go ahead and save and what I can help them out with personal convenience. Focusing on unique selling propositions and adopting it to your business plan is so critical, and it's what is going to make the mark here in 2022. If you are focusing on financial conveniences and personal conveniences, now you can develop your communication and messaging so that you can make sure you say, hey, this is what I have versus everybody else. If you're planning on doing something, if you know your friends or family or people that are moving to or from this location, just have them come over here and check with me first, so we can help them save $10,000 to $25,000 or this or that. So almost a word of caution, and that's what unique selling propositions do. And every single person, including us as real estate agents, when we've sold our home, we're always looking at personal convenience, financial conveniences, right? How do I maximize my sale, take enough of my revenue, or maximize my revenue intake? What am I going to do with it? And how can I go ahead and bring in those personal conveniences for my family during moving times? And all of this stuff, guys, needs to be there. And that's where you're going to go ahead and really cater. And that's where you're going to hit the mark in 2022. So focus on it and make sure that you're developing educational resources enough so that your people who are viewing know that they should check with you first before talking to any other real estate agent, so that you can just, at no obligation, help them understand how much they can save and how much you can help with their personal convenience. And that's important. And go do it. Be blessed and unstoppable in 2022.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is some great advice from 3 very intelligent human beings. Let's do this. Let's do a wrap before Nick falls to the ground and arrives in pain because he doesn't have sugar, which we commend him for, by the way.
Wah, wah,
Oh, shut up! Shut up!
I'm hungry.
Nick, how can people get a hold of you while Gene makes fun of you?
Go to Get Amplified Marketing and book a no obligation consultation with myself, and I will give you a tremendous offer that you can use in your market, whether we work together or not.
Damn. All right. That's a damn good offer. I like that offer. I don't know. Where's that coming from?
That's the Free Move USA call center. Sorry.
Oh, I'm like, is that Gene messing with me right now?
Speaking of offers.
Yeah, speaking of offers.
The phones are ringing like crazy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you what. I'm serious. I'm sorry I had that on. I didn't need to.
No problem, Jake. How can people get a hold of you, and why should they get a hold of you?
I highly urge everybody to come over to freemoveusa.com right now. Zip code territory control. You guys can go ahead and have a value proposition right out of the gate and have us to go ahead and support you. And you would be the exclusive agent, team, or brokerage inside your territory that's offering this. We have professional commercial advertising. We're putting commercials into everybody's smart televisions right inside of your zip codes. Call centers are set up. Phones are ringing, as we just saw. And that's where you get a hold of me. Go to the agent qualification page, fill out your information, and we'll see if your territory is available and if you're approved.
All right. Perfect, guys. Free Move USA for Jake. Get Amplified for Nick. And then if you guys want to see Gene, just take a look at this photo. He looks very astonished that he's actually on camera, which I love that photo every single time. GVI Media for Gene Volpe. Gene, how can people get a hold of you directly, sir?
Just get to my genevolpe.com. It's real simple. There's nothing fancy there. We're updating the website, but there's a way for you to connect with me on all my social and also get on my calendar. So it's very, very simple.
That's awesome. Yes, you guys will love talking to every one of these gentlemen. I own nothing with any of them. It's just purely me promoting some really amazing human beings. I am restarting Beers and Calls, I believe today or tomorrow, one of the 2 days. I got on coordinating with my good friend Stefan Adika. He and I are going to co-brand this thing, and we're going to do calls together because he is, in his words, the East Coast Jew, and I'm the West Coast crazy. And so we're going to get on there. We're going to do beers and calls, live calls together. It's going to be absolutely amazing. If you guys want to talk about EXP, kind of what we're building over here, we have some stuff that's going to blow your socks off when it comes to how you can build your business and make you more money with passive income, and just have a lot of fun. And then you can put, lizards on your cat. And if you guys are watching this, you kind of see the humor in this. I decided to decorate my cat. My poor kitty. Now that he's passed over a year ago, he was such a good team player. He let me put all these plastic lizards on him, and he was not pumped. But you guys will be pumped, and we thank you for watching and listening to the show. But Nick, Gene, and Jake, I need a favor from you, gentlemen. I need colors for the bow in the show.
Pink.
Gene. Huh?
Pink.
All right. Pink. Save the tatas. I love it. Nick.
I might regret this since Gene has orange in his background, but I'm going to go orange because the original Bucks uniforms were orange and white. So old school creamsicle.
Oh,
they were awesome uniforms, though.
Yeah.
Back in the Mike Allstott days, they were some badass unis. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with green because green's going to put the gold back into the Super Bowl this year.
There's your Packers fan right there.
Hey,
that's a tough one to argue with.
That's how we always flip in football for Greg.
Greg, that's not the kind of Packers we're talking about.
Shut up. All right. We're moving forward from that comment immediately. All right, gentlemen and ladies, thank you so much for watching and listening to us. We could not do this without you. Please go out there and give us a 5-star, not a 2-star review on every single place you watch and listen to your podcast. That helps the algorithm get out and serve it up to more folks who need to hear this information. I am not the smartest or sharpest tool in the shed, but I get to hang out with really cool people like these 3 gentlemen here. So for the bow in the show, we are going to put a pink bow, an orange bow, and a green bow on this show. Now, guys, go out there, make it a blessed and powerful day. Until next time, peace out, ninjas. We're gone.